sparked your interest in karting?
There's a slippery slope to karting, I think. Because when we were little, we liked cars a bunch. And that was like our whole lives when we were like in elementary school, middle school. And then high school got into Formula 1. You'd always been into racing. I always had an interest in cars. And then that turned into an interest in racing via Formula 1. And then we were like, one day in high school, let's find a karting club, like a racing club. And so then we did. And then we found out that there was one in El Paso and that some other guy that we went to high school with was in it. That was like when I got introduced to karting. And now it's like I've tested karts and the bug bit me. And so now I just want to drive. Yeah, dude, it's that. It's just so much fun. Like on a level where like now it can become a hobby. Like the reason why I want to keep doing it is because of like the competition. Because of, you know, the technical like thing of racing. I think that's such a cool thing to be good at.
What was your view of karting before you got into it?
I mean, I've always respected it. I never like dissed karting or like any sort of racing. You know what I mean? Except for NASCAR, because like that's easy to diss on, you know. But like it's literally just like I've tried it. I know what a kart feels like, and yeah, literally, it's just like unfamiliarity to like familiarity. You know, just getting to know it more.
Do you remember what it was like driving a kart for the first time?
That was crazy. I mean, I don't even know if I expected to test the kart, you know? Because I went just to go, you know. Roman was like, oh, they're having a race. I don't even think you had a kart that time. We went to Deming to a race. And after the race, Roman... Whose kart did I drive? It was yours, right?
I think so.
I think it was yours. Was it the Tony kart? The old Tony kart, maybe. Did you go out?
I believe we went out at the same time that you first drove a kart ever.
I think I went out for the first time ever. I went out behind you. Didn't I?
I'm pretty sure you did, maybe.
All I remember is like the feeling of it. Like I don't remember what kart I drove, but I remember like coming out of the pits.
Yeah.
Like I put my foot down. And there was like no end torque, you know what I mean? No low end torque. So I was like, oh, okay, this is not bad. like this is not what I was expecting. And so then like it just, you know how it spools up and it gets faster and it just like, you're just going, you know? And so I was like on like the start finish straight and it just kind of, it hit, I guess, I don't know, it hit me. I was like holding on for dear life and I was low key like having to, like I was scared. I was scared. I had never driven anything like it before. So, oh man, that was scary. It was genuinely like scary. I was like, how do they, like I'm not even pushing right now. I'm not. The only time that I was like comfortable even like remotely pushing was like on the straights. Cause you know, I'm not going to turn and like understeer straight into like off and then like break your, it was your kart. I remember because when we were coming around the carousel, I dipped your wheel off of the curb, and I didn't know what the limit of grip of the cart was. So I went out wide, and the left wheel like dipped. Like I had the entire left half of the cart off of the track, off of the tarmac in the dirt, instead to pull it off. And I freaked out. I was like, oh no, I messed up his cart. But dude, no, it's nothing, and then it's everything. You know, like you get out and it's like slow and it takes a little while to spool up and to hit you. And then once you're at speed, you're like, oh my God. And I had to scream. I straight up had to scream to like let out like the fear of what I was doing, you know, of like being so low to the ground. Oh my God. It was surreal. Like, I don't even know. Like you have to do it to like understand completely.
What were you anticipating before you drove a car? What did you think of?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't think about it. I don't know. Because I think I was more worried about, like, oh, these guys all have their karts. They're, like, their babies or their pride and joys. I didn't even want to, like, of course I wanted to drive one. But I was more worried about, like, asking to drive one. You know what I mean? So that was, like, more my concern beforehand. And I think that's where most of my mental space was. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I obviously expected some more low-end torque. But past that, like, no clue. I didn't expect it to be so nimble, you know? I remember I was like weaving on the straight once or a couple of times. I would just like, and like the grip, I didn't expect it to be just like go, you know. I was like, oh my God, this feels weird, because no car I've ever driven drive like that. I didn't want to break the cart. I wanted to be fast out of the box, but that's like not realistic. Because you guys were just like, don't push yourself. The first thing that I wanted to like figure out was the straight line speed, you know? Because I knew that I wasn't going to be quick through corners. I knew that like trying to like send it through corners like it wasn't really going to even be fun, because like you're just going to not knowing what I'm doing, I'm just going to understeer through them, and just like it's going to be super sloppy. So my main thing was like, what does it feel like to go 70 miles an hour, like an inch from the ground, you know? I think that was the main thing, that as soon as I got out of the pits, that's what I remember. And then also going through the S's. That was the first thing that I wanted to push on.
Did you feel like you have a lot of learning or practice to do?
Yeah. I still do. Like, obviously I still do. And I talk about it with Roman all the time. Every time we go test out a kart, literally all I want to do is find time on that track and figure out what you guys are doing. I wish there was an easier way to, like, understand how you guys are, like, pushing so hard. Because I get out there and I'm bad at, like, all the technical stuff. So I want to figure out, like, how do you guys do it? What's the right way? What's the wrong way to do it? That's all I want to do. And you saw me. I don't know if you saw me, but, like, when the last time we went out and I was trying to set, like, a decent lap time, remember I told you I want to get, like, low 128s or something, I told you. Nowhere near that. I just want to find time. I still have a lot of practice to do, and I still need to, like, catch up to you and to Roman. And I've had less time to do it, you know? Because then after that, you get quick, and then it's, like, racecraft, you know? Because, like, once you figure out, like, what a good lap is, then it's, like, okay, how do you improve, and also, like, how do you interact with the other drivers on track? For some reason, I thought that I was going to be quicker. I thought that I was going to have more talent, but I was, like, I was humbled. And now, like, yeah, it's harder. It's way harder than I thought.